Hey guys, we're back again with another video. This is your boxing rundown of what's been going on this week in the world of boxing. And you know what? A lot's actually gone on this week. Let's start off with Ben Whittaker leaving boxer, signing a long-term promotional deal with Matchroom and fighting exclusively on DAZN. And you know what? For me, I think this is a great move for him, especially with the platform that he's built. I know that he was boxer's superstar, but one thing is for certain is that Eddie Hearn is just great at his job, right? He's just really good at promoting and selling a fight and a boxer. And I have no doubt that he would do fantastically. Is that even a word? He would do fantastic with selling and promoting Ben Whittaker. I'm actually really excited to see how he would do it for Ben Whittaker. So I'm waiting for that fight news. And do you know what? There is talks of Ben Whittaker's next fight being announced really soon. Apparently it's happening like before the end of this year, which is really exciting. I mean, he's only been in the ring once this year, actually. And I know that many boxing fans are still like very much like speculating, still very like really unsure with all the showboating. They want to see the progression. They want to see him going with bigger names, with him being with Andy Lee and having Andy Lee as his coach. He did do really well in his last fight. And so like, I'm excited to just see how Ben Whittaker's career like unfolds, like to see the fight that he takes, to see the progression, to see the moves. Like it's all really exciting for him and it's a good time. And Matchroom put on 2 fights on the same weekend. You have Dave Allen and Matt Madov in the UK, and then you had Jerome Boots Ennis and Lima in the US. But let's start off with here in the UK. So Matt Madov won by unanimous decision against Dave Allen. He of course like was winning those earlier rounds despite having 2 points taken off throughout the whole fight. And one thing is for certain is that Dave Allen has got a chin because he was eaten up and he was taking those punches. And you know what? It wasn't just a WBA Intercontinental title that was on the line. It was also that fight with Anthony Joshua. And you know what? Now that he's won the fight, hey, we might see it in early 2026 when AJ returns back in the ring. And you know what? I don't see that fight with Makhmudov and AJ. I don't see it going longer than 4 rounds. I'm excited to see what Dave Allen does. I think he had a lot of negative things to say about himself and he was critiquing himself, I think, quite harshly at the end of the fight. But you know what? Maybe he just went in with the wrong strategy and come back better and stronger, which I think he can do. And he just seems like a really likable and a great guy, like a solid guy. So like, I'm excited to see what he does next. I do hope he does get into the ring. There was no talks of like, oh, I'm not fighting again. So I'm excited to see like what is next for him and who he does fight next. And then Jerome Boots Ennis takes the win against Lima for his debut at 154, which is exciting. I mean, the way that he won, I mean, a first round victory is beautiful and it was great to see. But I mean, the manner in which he won as well, like his hands were going. He was going. And he even said, like, in his post-fight interview that he wasn't expecting like a first round win. He was saying maybe in like the second, but I guess he was just at it and he was ready to go. And as great and beautiful it was, many boxing fans are still saying that they want to see him go against those big names. But he put that all to bed in his post-fight interview by calling out Virgil Ortiz Jr. And you know what? There was lots of talk and a lot of speculations of him fighting Virgil Ortiz Jr. early 2026. So I guess with him calling him out, it's looking like it might happen. And it will be great to see that, especially with like Eddie Hearn saying that he believes that he's future pound for pound #1 and like he's going to move up to like 160 and 160 and he'll be pound for pound #1 in those divisions and the best in those divisions too. You are going to have to fight the best at those divisions. And so I do think that is going to happen and that is more of those fights for the bigger names is going to come. But you know, like Virgil Ortiz Jr. has got a fight coming up. So I guess we've got to wait for that to happen, see how that pans out. And then we could get back to it. Jerome Boots Ennis is only 28. Like, he's still got so much time, so much years ahead of him. And this is why I also don't get the comparison to him and Terence Bud Crawford. Like, Crawford is much older. Like, and Crawford is coming to the end of his career. Whereas, like, Boots has still got a lot of time. Yes, fair enough, like Terence Crawford was like a late bloomer, but it's just not the same. And I just think the comparisons shouldn't happen because they're on 2 different journeys, 2 different timelines, and it's just different for both. So I don't see the comparison at all. But I am excited to see what's next for Jerome Boots Ennis, who he gets in the ring with next, which I hope it is Virgil Ortiz Jr., and those bigger fights and those bigger names. There was a debate that took place this week, right? And it all stemmed from when Ryan Garcia joined the Ring magazine show. And he was just saying that he believes that Triple G should not be a Hall of Famer because who has he fought. But I mean, when you look at the accomplishments and the highlights of Triple G's in his career, his boxing career, I think that speaks for itself. Let me get my iPad. Let's look at this. Here are some of Triple G's highlights in his career, right? WBA middleweight champion, WBC middleweight champion, IBF middleweight champion, IBO middleweight champion, unified middleweight champion from 2016 to 2018, and 21 consecutive title defenses, longest reigning unified middleweight champion from 2016 to 2018. He had 23 straight KOs between 2008 and 2017, which is wild, and one of the highest KO ratios in middleweight history, 89%, and he was an Olympic silver medalist. Need I say more? I think all of this does all the talking. Somebody can have a resume like that and accomplishments like that and not be a Hall of Famer, then honestly, I just don't know. But this whole like discourse just proves that different people have different requirements and categories that they personally have for a boxer to be a Hall of Famer. And for me, when I read something like that, I think someone should be a Hall of Famer because you have achieved a lot, like you've done a lot. And so that, what do I know? That's just my little 2 cents. But as always, I'd love to hear from you guys. Let me know you guys' thoughts on what's happened this week in the world of boxing. And if you don't already, follow me on Instagram and on TikTok for daily videos and updates on boxing. I'm going to see you guys next week, which I'm sure there'll be much more to talk about. I'll speak to you guys then.